Yu Monglong's mother is believed to have passed away. The tragedy's real mastermind, the powerful family behind it. Kim Jong Un's cold reception of Li Qiang has shaken Beijing. After the rare earth war, Beijing's leadership circle has quietly united to abandon Xi. And now, the decisive battle is within sight. Welcome back to Final War with Katherine Hu. Only one day remains before Beijing's fourth plenary session, a meeting that could redefine China's political future. Xi's so-called rare earth offensive has backfired spectacularly. He didn't just alienate Washington, he's angered the world. And now, Beijing's leadership has quietly reached one conclusion. It's time to move beyond him. At home and abroad, defeat after defeat has left him increasingly isolated, condemned not just by those demanding justice for Yu Monlong, but some believe by fate itself. A heartbreaking update has emerged. Yu Monlong's mother is believed to have passed away. On October 13th, Chinese broadcaster Lao Deng reported that multiple independent sources had confirmed Yu's mother's death. He said Yu's mother had previously attempted suicide and was rushed to a hospital, but new information suggests she didn't survive. Whether her passing away was the result of political pressure or a desperate act of her own remains unclear. Meanwhile, British commentator Tai William, who earlier said she had sensed Yu Monlong's presence, revealed that Yu's mother and relatives had been forcibly taken away, and that his mother has now passed. Tai said she had faced international pressure to delete her videos and close her channel, but she refused, urging her audience to keep speaking up for what's right. Weeks earlier, she claimed Yu had shown her the details of a disturbing ritual, scenes that, she said, later matched independent media revelations with shocking precision. Across China, the silence has broken. People have begun taking action, projecting Yu Monlong's image on city screens, refusing to let his name disappear. And now, that movement has crossed oceans. In New York's Times Square, the heart of the free world, screens began looping animations inspired by him 24 hours a day, 15 seconds every hour. But here's the part that stunned many. The Times Square display wasn't allowed to show his name or photo. Even there, political pressure from China seemed to reach across the ocean. So supporters turned to coded art and hidden messages to express their grief and determination. Meanwhile, on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Chinese groups held peaceful rallies demanding accountability. The story spread worldwide, sparking a surge of global signatures. The online petition, Justice for Yu Monlong on a Vase, has now drawn close to 500,000 supporters, growing by tens of thousands each day. This is no longer about one man's tragedy. It has become a global act of conscience, a moral awakening that no authority can silence. A stunning revelation has surfaced. Beijing's highest authority personally ordered the suppression of online discussion around the Yu Monlong case. Veteran actress Zhang Xiaomin, now living overseas, revealed on social media that she had reached out to Jinping's Song, one of the figures reportedly linked to Yu's tragedy. Zhang and Qing were classmates and later colleagues at the Beijing Film Academy. When she learned he might be connected, she contacted him directly to find out what really happened. Cheng insisted he was innocent, but Zhang didn't believe him. Instead, what she discovered was far more alarming. According to Zhang Xiaomin, she confirmed that the strict online restrictions on the Yu Monlong case, even labeling it part of an official internet cleanup campaign, began after someone mentioned the name of a Xi family member, Xi Jinping. She said the directive came from the very top. No more discussion online. Shut it all down. That single order triggered one of the fastest and most complete media shutdowns in years. Silencing posts, removing keywords, and taking down videos within hours. It wasn't just bureaucracy at work. It was a decision made at the highest level of power. Independent journalist Li Dayu later echoed Zhang's account. In his program, he cited a senior insider from Beijing's film industry who revealed that Yu Monlong had once spoken of an older man, a senior figure surnamed Xi, widely seen as the real patron of Beijing's entertainment circle. According to the insider, this man is regarded as the ultimate power behind the scenes. This wasn't the first case like Yu's. Similar incidents have happened before, but this time something higher seemed to intervene. Multiple reports have described how this political network reaches deep into the arts, shaping careers, funding, and public image alike. It's a system where loyalty matters more than talent, and silence often becomes the price of survival. Analysts say this network serves several purposes: to manage influence, to conceal money flows, to shape public narratives, and, according to some, to select people for mysterious ritual. Beijing has long been the political center of the ruling system, and therefore it influences culture as tightly as it governs politics. Over time, one family became the unseen hand behind both. In Xi family, the elder brother focused on state affairs abroad. The younger managed vast networks at home. Even without an official position, the younger brother's proximity to power made him untouchable. Wherever he went, doors opened, and few dared to say no. But why? If similar tragedies had happened before, did retribution come this time? A respected feng shui scholar, Mr. Ma, explained that those in power sometimes turn to forbidden spiritual practices in an attempt to alter destiny. Such ceremonies require finding a person with a rare life energy, someone whose fate could complement that of the ruler. Once chosen, the victim would be deceived with stories of honor and rebirth, told that their presence would return someday in glory. Over time, some believed it, surrendering to the illusion that their sacrifice was not permanent. But Yu Monlong refused. He rejected their deception and said,
"You can take my life, but I will never cooperate. You've already hurt me for years."
That defiance, the scholar said, broke the spell. and set in motion something far beyond human control. In the eyes of nature, sacrificing one life to extend another is the deepest transgression. Witnesses say that during the ordeal, Yu's beloved dog, Fu Li, was also taken away. He cried,
Fu Li, it's my fault. I can't be with you anymore.
That act of cruelty, they believe, sealed the retribution. Soon after, unusual signs appeared in the skies over Beijing. The same feng shui scholar warned, those who try to steal another's life energy invite nature's punishment. Their own time will be shortened. Observers have since noted that the party leader now appears visibly weakened, his complexion pale, his steps unsteady, his appearances increasingly rare. Even when he shows up in public, he looks like a man haunted by forces he can no longer control. The fourth plenary session is just one day away. A meeting that could reshape the balance of power in Beijing for years to come. Though Xi continues to fight for survival, his rare earth campaign has shattered what remained of his authority. Last week, while Premier Li Qiang visited North Korea, Vice Premier He Feng launched the Rare Earth Initiative, a move that enraged Beijing's senior leadership. It was viewed as reckless and dangerously destabilizing. According to diplomatic sources, during recent talks between Chinese and US officials, Li Chenggang and Jameson Greer, both sides agreed to maintain restraint until after the fourth plenary session. That is why, just days later, Donald Trump commented that Xi just had a bad moment. To many, it was a coded acknowledgement, Washington signaling that Xi's political position had weakened. After the rare earth confrontation, Hu Jintao, the previous party leader, now leading the elder faction, finally reached a moment of clarity. The fourth plenary session, he believes, must resolve the question of Xi's leadership. Waiting until the next party congress would be far too late. If the stalemate drags on, he warned, no one in the system will be safe. The upcoming plenary session has become, in his words, the final battle for survival. Xi's attempt to launch a global rare earth confrontation has backfired completely, uniting the West against him, and for the first time uniting his rivals inside the ruling establishment. Even among factions that mistrust one another, one consensus now holds. The fourth plenary session could effectively bring Xi's leadership to an end. Sources in Beijing suggest that Xi's movements are now under close internal supervision, a measure rarely applied to someone of his rank. According to insiders, the goal is twofold. First, to prevent him from seeking external political backing that could slow a leadership transition. Second, to stop him from leaving the country during this period of internal uncertainty, a situation reminiscent of past political crises. The outcome is unprecedented. Xi's planned foreign visits, including the long-prepared trip to North Korea and the expected APEC summit, have all been quietly withdrawn from the schedule. For the first time in over a decade, his international agenda has gone completely dark. To many within Beijing's leadership circle, it sends a clear signal. The once unquestioned figure of authority is now effectively confined within his own system. From October 9th to 11th, Chinese Premier Li Qiang traveled to Pyongyang, a trip expected to reaffirm ties between the two sides. Instead, it revealed just how much Xi's influence has faded. During the meeting, Kim Jong Un sat at one end of a long oval table, accompanied only by a translator. Li Qiang and his delegation sat at the far end, distant, formal, and visibly restrained. Photos released by North Korean state media quickly drew attention online. Observers described the scene as if a group of officials were briefing their superior. When Li Qiang prepared to depart, another clip emerged. Kim kept his hands in his pockets, chatting with aides while ignoring his guest. Only at the last moment did he offer a brief nod. Li stood still, waiting for acknowledgement that never came. As his motorcade left, Kim waved once, then turned away. The contrast could not be sharper. Back in 2011, when then Vice Premier Li Keqiang visited Pyongyang, Kim Jong Un and his father Kim Jong Il both sat beside him, leaving the center seat to the Chinese delegate as a gesture of respect and alliance. This time, that formality was gone. By openly treating Xi's close ally with such disregard, Kim Jong Un was in effect sending a message to Xi himself. It suggested that Kim already understood the shifting balance of power inside Beijing and no longer feared offending one of Xi's most loyal subordinates. As Xi's hold on power weakens, the public mood across China is shifting in ways unseen for decades. The government's suppression of the Yu Monlong case, the mass deletions, the bans, the silencing, has produced the opposite of what it intended. Instead of silence, it has sparked a quiet moral awakening. Across China and within overseas Chinese communities, growing numbers of people are joining the Three Withdrawals movement, choosing to withdraw from party-related organizations and declare their independence of thought. According to the Global Service Center for Quitting the CCP, as of October 15, 2025, more than 453 million people have made such statements worldwide. And in recent weeks, many have pointed directly to the Yu Monlong tragedy as the moment that awakened their conscience. Dr. Wang Zhiyuan, chairman of the Global Service Center for Quitting the CCP, described this change as more than political. He called it a spiritual awakening.
Through the tragedy of Yu Monlong, people have seen the real nature of the power structure, its corruption, its cruelty, and its fear of truth. Even many who once supported it are now questioning everything they believed.
He added that this shift marks something deeper than protest. It's a quiet return to conscience, a rediscovery of what it means to be free within. According to Wang, this movement reflects a profound transformation inside Chinese society.
People are not just stepping away from an institution. They're stepping away from fear itself.
It's a change that begins in the mind, one that no authority can suppress and no censorship can erase. The tragedy of Yu Monlong and the conscience it awakened may well mark the beginning of the unraveling for this era of control. And as Beijing approaches its most decisive meeting in decades, one truth has already become impossible to conceal. The breakdown has already begun. Get the real story behind the CCP's shifting power games and see where US-China relations are headed next. Support the vision of a new China without communism. Subscribe now and join us in bringing the truth to light.